Don't miss the tea. Subscribe now.
Girl, sit down. No, seriously, grab the bottle of wine, the whole bottle, because I am about to spill the most frustrating, heartbreaking tea you have ever heard. I feel like I'm losing my absolute mind. You know my boyfriend, right? Everyone thinks they know him. He's 35, acts like the perfect gentleman, and on paper, our relationship is a fairy tale. He treats me like a queen, emotionally, but physically, we are living in a barren wasteland. I am talking Dune, okay? We haven't had sex in 6 months. 6 months. I am 27 years old. I am in the literal prime of my life, living like a nun who accidentally stumbled into a domestic partnership with her brother. And the craziest part, the first 2 months of our relationship were insane. We were like rabbits. Actually, rabbits would look at us and tell us to chill out. I know nobody believes me, but we did it 13 times in one day once. 13. It was animalistic. Back then, he told me he had never been like that with anyone else, that he usually had problems and low drive. He made me feel like I was the magic potion, like I had unlocked this beast inside of him. I felt so special, like I fixed him. Joke S on me. But what happens when the magic wears off? Stay tuned for part 2. So fast forward to month 3. The honeymoon phase didn't just fade, it fell off a cliff. We went from 13 times a day to maybe once every 2 weeks. It was like someone flipped a switch. He got a job bartending, so when the sex dried up, I asked him, "Babe, what's wrong?" And he played the classic card. "I'm just tired." I'm reasonable, so I backed off. But tired turned into comatose. It went from once every 2 weeks to once a month. And the worst part, it was always me initiating. Do you know what that does to a woman's self-esteem? To have to beg for intimacy from the man who claims you're the love of his life. I felt disgusting. I felt unattractive. I would put on the cute lingerie and I'd just get this stiff, awkward reaction. Every time I brought it up, it ended in a fight. Finally, he drops this bomb on me. He says he doesn't want it because I pressure him. Can you believe the audacity? Me trying to save our intimacy is pressure. So naturally, I felt guilty. I made a pact with myself. I zipped my lips. I stopped initiating. I decided to let him come to me when he was ready. And that, my dear, brings us to today. I stopped asking, and we haven't had sex since. 6 months of silence in the bedroom. But what happens when even therapy can't fix it? Find out in part 3. I didn't just let it slide, though. I went into problem-solving mode. I told him, "Go to a doctor, please." He actually went. The results? Perfect. Normal hormones. Physically, there is nothing wrong with him. So if his body works, the problem is in his head, right? I dragged us to couples therapy. Yes, therapy, and we aren't even married yet. We go in there, I pour my heart out, and even the therapist looks at me with pity. She tried to find trauma or relationship issues, but came up empty. He just doesn't want to. Last session, the therapist literally looked at me and said, "You should consider breaking up with him if you don't want a relationship like this forever." When a professional tells you to dump him, you listen, right? But I can't. The therapist suggested a reset. She said since we live together, we should sleep in different rooms. Take the sex completely off the table. Remove the expectation. I was totally okay with that. I thought, great, I can finally get some sleep without lying next to a man who won't touch me. But he refused. He threw a fit. He said he wants to sleep with me. He wants to cuddle. He wants to hold me at night. But that is all he wants. So what's next when even the therapist's advice fails? The shocking conclusion in part 4. It is psychological torture. We are living like roommates who share a bed, but worse, because he refuses to move to the other room, yet refuses to even kiss me properly. It's just pecks on the cheek. But then, and this is why I feel like I'm going crazy, he acts like the perfect boyfriend in every other way. He buys me gifts, cooks for me, and tells me I'm beautiful. But then we go home, and I lie there in the dark next to him, feeling so lonely it physically hurts. I've tried to have the breakup talk. He just cries and begs, saying, "I'm going to fix this, please don't leave me." But he's been saying that for months. He went to the doctor, nothing. Therapy, nothing. It feels like he's trying to run out the clock, hoping I'll accept a sexless life at 27. I feel like a monster for wanting to leave him over sex because everything else is perfect. It's like he wants a living teddy bear, not a girlfriend. What do I do? Do I walk away from the sweetest man I've ever known? or stay and hope the guy from the first 2 months comes back. Because right now, I feel like that guy died, and I'm sleeping next to a ghost who buys me nice jewelry to apologize for haunting me.